At midnight, your liver stops working. By breakfast, your blood sugar is falling, acid is building in your blood, and your brain is beginning to lose its chemical protection. The frightening part? For the first few minutes, you might feel completely normal. Here's our rule. Your heart, lungs, and kidneys begin healthy, but your liver suddenly loses almost all function. Real acute liver failure usually develops over days or weeks. We're compressing the physiology to reveal what this silent organ does every second. Your liver is not just a filter. It stores and releases glucose, clears lactate, converts ammonia into urea, processes bilirubin, makes bile, and builds proteins that control bleeding. Imagine a chemical city with thousands of production lines. At midnight, every line stops. During the first hour, your body uses whatever is already circulating. You can still walk, talk, and check your phone. But inside your abdomen, incoming blood keeps delivering nutrients, medicines, hormones, and waste to a factory that no longer answers. Now watch the first dangerous number, glucose. Between meals, the liver releases stored sugar and manufactures more. Without that backup, glucose can fall. You become hungry, sweaty, shaky, and strangely irritable. If it drops far enough, confusion, seizures, and unconsciousness can follow. At the same time, lactate begins to accumulate. Your muscles and other tissues constantly produce it. A healthy liver helps recycle it. With that clearance gone, the blood becomes more acidic. Breathing speeds up as your body tries to compensate, while the heart works harder in a chemistry it cannot fix. Human surgery gives us a clue about the speed. During prolonged operations with no functioning liver, serious metabolic and clotting changes have appeared within 2 to 3 hours, even with an operating room supporting the patient. At home, you would not have glucose infusions, blood tests, or a team correcting the acid. Next, the blood control system becomes unstable. The liver makes many clotting and anti-clotting proteins. As short-lived factors disappear, your INR rises and bleeding becomes harder to control. But here's the catch. This is not simply blood that cannot clot. Some compensating pathways can still produce dangerous clots. A small nosebleed may last too long. A bump becomes a deep bruise. Inside the digestive tract, bleeding can become difficult to stop. The risk grows because the body has lost the organ that normally balances both sides of the system. Then ammonia starts changing the story. Your gut produces ammonia while processing protein. Normally, the liver converts much of it into urea so the kidneys can remove it. With the urea cycle offline, ammonia rises and crosses into the brain. At first, you lose focus. You repeat a question, miss a step, or cannot remember why you entered a room. Your hands may develop a flapping tremor. This is hepatic encephalopathy. The brain is being exposed to substances the liver should have neutralized. Now zoom into an astrocyte, one of the brain's support cells. It pulls ammonia into chemical reactions that increase glutamine. Water follows. The cell swells. Across millions of cells, that swelling can raise pressure inside the rigid skull, leading to severe confusion, seizures, coma, and brain herniation. The kidneys now face a second crisis. Low blood pressure, inflammation, toxins, and disturbed circulation can trigger acute kidney injury. Urine output falls. Fluid and electrolytes drift. When the kidneys slow down, ammonia and acid become even harder to control. One failed organ is recruiting another. By this point, the famous yellow eyes may begin, but they are not the main danger. Bilirubin is rising because the liver cannot process and route it normally. The color is a warning light. The urgent threats are low glucose, unstable coagulation, acid buildup, brain dysfunction, and failing circulation. In intensive care, the rescue is not one magic machine. Doctors give continuous glucose, watch the brain and clotting system, support blood pressure, protect the airway, and correct electrolytes. Continuous dialysis can remove ammonia and control acid and fluid, but it does not perform every liver function. Treatment also depends on why the shutdown happened. Certain poisonings may respond to fast antidotal treatment. Infection, immune attack, or loss of blood flow require different responses. If enough liver cells survive, this organ can regenerate remarkably well, but regeneration takes time and the body needs a bridge. If the liver truly stays at zero, a transplant becomes the decisive rescue. Teams must keep the brain, kidneys, heart, and blood chemistry stable while a compatible organ is found. Every hour matters because the patient is not waiting with one broken filter. They're losing an entire metabolic control center. So what happens at hour 24? There is no universal timer, and survival depends on the cause, remaining function, and medical support. But complete untreated shutdown would be a critical, rapidly worsening emergency. The liver works quietly until every other organ begins announcing its absence.